Hey, good afternoon, Facebook. This is Karyn Kuniyuki coming at you from the Emmanuel School of Fine Arts, and I promised some friends that I would figure this out, and here we are. This is live, so I can't guarantee that I'm not going to make a huge blunder, but I'm going to give it my best effort. So today's art lesson, and if you haven't seen the ones that we've already put up on this page, please go back and check them out. A couple of fun activities for kids that are stuck home without anything to do. We're all in this together. You might hear a knock on my door, and it could be one of my 3 kids asking for the next step of directions on how to make chocolate chip cookies. We are all trying to figure this at-home thing out, so bear with me. Today's lesson is about value. And value is so important to art and often forgotten or misunderstood by our youngest artists. And value is a basic element of art, and it refers to the gradual change of lightness and darkness of a color. It is usually created by the light source, how a light source reflects off of something and creates shadows and highlights on that object. So let's just look at a quick value scale made in pencil, and everybody can follow along at home. All you need is a piece of paper, and I just took a ruler and I made 6 boxes. You could have 10 boxes, you could have 3 boxes, whatever you need, and a pencil. And so to create a value scale, we want to show a change in light as it goes from bright to dark in our picture. So light to darkness here. And we're going to do that with line first. So if you just have a pencil and you create some lines all the way across this scale, make them equally apart from each other, you have an even scale that is the same all the way across. Now you're going to skip the first box and you're going to start with the second box, and you're going to do the same thing, only you're going to put a line in between each of the lines that you have. So just do that all the way across. And you're going to start to see that the more lines you have, the darker your scale becomes. So we skipped the first, now we're going to skip the first and the second, and you're going to again put a line in between every line that you have on your paper. We can already see our value scale beginning to appear. It's getting from light to dark. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to go back once again. You're going to come to a point where you maybe can't fit any more lines in between your lines. And at that point, we're going to learn something called cross-hatching. And cross-hatching is when you draw lines that are perpendicular to your first set of lines. Perpendicular is when they go in opposite directions. So skip your first, your second, your third, and your 4th box. Now in your 5th box, hey Erica, hey Summer, 5th box, you're going to go in the opposite direction, just as close together as you did before. Now we can really see our scale from light to dark. And in that last box, you can go up and down or side to side. You're just going to go in a different direction than you already have. And if you really want it to show, you can do both. So what I think is really fun about this darn virus and getting stuck at home and having to teach from home is that right now, hanging out with me, I've got somebody I went to high school with and somebody I met in the military. And they're on polar opposite sides of the country. and we're all here together. So there's your value scale made with pencil. And that's the first part of understanding value. So when you draw anything, whether you're drawing a still life, a collection of glasses and plants in your kitchen, whatever you have out to draw, by adding value, by shading light and dark, that object starts to develop form. We start to see the actual shape of the object instead of it being really flat. And so you can repeat this value exercise using dots. You can repeat it using circles. You can repeat it with just scribbles, and just follow the same process. Create your boxes across your paper and do something all the way across. Something simple. And then skip that first box and repeat that something simple all the way across. Just like we just did. And experiment with that. Maybe on your student's paper, you take your value scale and create 5 different versions of it, and have your student or your kiddo experiment. In the top one, only use lines. In the next one down, only use circles. On the third one, use scribbles. When I say scribble, I mean just like this. Okay? In Danish, that's called a krostedule. Krostedule, and that was one of the first words that my Danish friends taught me when I was over there in 1998. Hi, Aurora. Aurora is watching, and she's the artist of the family. So for the next part of this, I've already prepared another value scale on the back side of my paper, and I thought it would be cool if we did a little bit of painting, but I understand that not everybody has paint at home right now, and not everybody wants to run out to the store and buy it. So I have coffee, and I was curious myself, would soy sauce have the same effect? So we're going to do a little experiment. This side is soy sauce, and this is just a teaspoon of instant coffee granules mixed with about a tablespoon of hot water. And then I have a paintbrush, and I have some additional water too, to water down my medium that I'm going to paint with. So I've got my value scale, and I think this time I'm going to work from dark to light. So the more water I add to my soy sauce or coffee, it's going to make the color lighter. So I'm going to go backwards this time. I know that might be a little hard to imagine. Hey, I do want to ask people who are watching right now, how's my audio? Can you hear me okay? Let me know if the sound is bad, or it looks like the lighting isn't too shabby. I've got a little lamp here, and I cleaned my desk yesterday. There are positives to this whole stay home and shelter at home. So I'm going to I have a little extra water, and you see I have these little saucers here. I've got 6 squares, so I need to create at least 5 little dishes of water, of different amounts of water, just enough. So we'll do 1 little drop there. So over here to my right, I have the most water, and then a little bit less in each little dish. Okay? Thank you, Summer, for confirming that you can hear me all right. Okay, so soy sauce. I'm just going to start with the soy sauce itself, and I'm going to paint in my first square. And you could make an entire painting using just soy sauce or coffee and just dilute it. Diluting it means add water to it. This is just like you're painting with watercolors. The more water you add, the lighter that color becomes. The less water you have, the darker it is. So there's my darkest shade of soy sauce. And I I was gonna do half and half there, and I forgot. Coffee versus soy sauce. Well, let's just do coffee underneath it. All right, so full strength coffee. I'm gonna do it right underneath my soy sauce. They are almost the same color. Okay, so for my mixtures, if you had an eyedropper, you could be very precise about how you do your mixtures by sucking up the soy sauce and dropping 1 drop in here, 2 drops in the next one, 3 drops in the next one, 4 drops, 5 drops, and you would be creating like a chemical experiment that you controlled very precisely. I don't have an eyedropper here, so I'm just gonna try to take the same amount of soy sauce and put it in each of the dishes. So I'm going to go with my smallest amount of water, and I'm going to drag some soy sauce into my smallest amount of water, and I'm going to paint my next section with that. All right, not too bad. I can see a difference. Don't know if you can see a difference, but under my light here, I can definitely see a difference. Now, I dragged 2 paintbrushes full of soy sauce into that compartment there. So I am going to drag the same amount because this compartment has a little bit more water. So 2 paintbrushes. And I'm going to go ahead and paint my next section of my value scale. Two paintbrushes into my next bit of water. I almost did a third one. Whew, good thing I stopped myself. I would not be a very good scientist here. And I'm going to paint the next one. Okay. What do you guys think? Do you think it's looking lighter? I'm going to try to make it show up a little bit better, and I'm not going to put 2 paintbrushes full into my 5th section there. Yep, that's getting lighter for sure. And then I'm going to not dip this at all into the paint. It's the tiniest bit. Can you see it getting dark, getting lighter as it goes around the circle? Hi, Andy. Andy, you've got kiddos at home that could do this. We're painting with soy sauce and coffee. And I'm absolutely certain that you have coffee in your house. All right, there we go. There's my value scale from dark to light this time. And first I did it in soy sauce. If I turn this around, I can do it with coffee. And when you're done with this exercise, the next thing to do with this would be to go ahead and paint a picture using just coffee or soy sauce. And maybe if you don't have either of those things in your house, you could look around your kitchen and see what else you have that might stain in this way. Lots of things in the kitchen stain. Ooh, food coloring. I bet food coloring would work. All right, so this is my second darkest coffee section. You know, people use food coloring to dye Easter eggs. So I'm absolutely 100% certain that you could use food coloring for this. Ooh, Kool-Aid powder would probably work. Jello powder would probably work too. What else? Oh, I definitely think that the one I just mixed is going to be darker than the one I just painted, because I was talking and I wasn't paying attention. This whole online teaching thing, whew. Nothing like being told you had 24 or 48 hours to learn a new skill and then do it live with students. We're all going to be different people after this is all over. So that one's really, really light. So if you needed to, you could always go back over. I bet if I took this straight coffee from over here and I painted back over my original 100% coffee, not diluted, right over here, it's going to get darker. See that? So if you needed to tweak your scale a little bit in order for it to be successful, go ahead and tweak. But the goal is one side is dark and the other side is light, and it gradually changes as it goes across the paper. And then you would use these shades of coffee and soy sauce to create your image. So if you do that at home, if you create a value scale, if you make a picture, please take a picture of it and share it on our Facebook page. Like our Facebook page, share it with everybody. In the coming days, we're going to have some of our music instructors from the Emmanuel School of Fine Arts. They're going to be putting up some basic skills videos. So if you have a kiddo at home that studies piano and cannot go to their piano lesson because of COVID-19, well, we're going to have a little something for them to watch and learn and practice at home to keep their studies up. So go ahead and share our page and try to spread the word on what we're doing. We're going to get through this, and hey, I just did a whole entire video and I didn't get interrupted by any of my kids. It's a miracle. That probably means that they're getting into trouble. So I better go. Take care. I'll catch you later. Bye.